Weather-wise in Amsterdam, but the atmosphere is far from damp. The Ajax fans, as they greet the teams, are already at full cry, singing their theme song, "We Are the Champions," in anticipation of debunking the existing title holders. Some sort of revenge is at hand here. The two teams have met 6 times previously in the Champions Cup, but their most significant clash was in the 1969 final in Madrid, when Ajax was beaten 4-1 by Milan in a year when most of today's Ajax players weren't even born. And some famous names took part in that game. Rosato and Sormani in Milan, Hamrin, the Swedish winger, Schnellinger, the German fullback, Prati, another international. Johan Cruyff was on hand, of course, for Ajax. But Ajax are at full strength in this particular night. Experienced right-back Sonny Siloy is still being kept out by the young Michael Reisiger at number 2. And apart from veterans Frank Rijkaard and Danny Blind, all players are under 25, led by that sensational 18-year-old Patrick Kluivert, who has taken over the mantle left by Dennis Bergkamp. Without Rijkaard and Blind, the average age of the team would be 22. Even with them, it's under 24. It's a great team, or at least it has the makings of one, and look at it. All attacking players. It's a real lesson for coaches how that Ajax team lines up. Frank Rijkaard at the center of defense, and he's no great defender. AC Milan, of course, not so lucky today. No Milan and few teams in the past have been so decimated by suspension and injury. 9 first choices are out, including, of course, Marco van Basten. Nava, Galli and Orlando had a total of 24 league appearances between them last season, while Sordo, a recent acquisition from Torino, is making his debut. Yet so rich is the Milan playing staff that 2 Italian internationals, Gigi Lentini and Giovanni Stroppa, are on the bench. Ruud Gullit is on hand, and I think this is his first appearance on Dutch soil since his rather famous or notorious rejection of the Dutch World Cup team for USA 94. So he'll be getting, I should think, his about the man giving away the throw. Here's Frank de Boer. Davids across for Rijkaard. Ronald de Boer. In for Kluivert. A little touch for Rijkaard. Davids. Overmars. There are men in the middle. Litmanen, the tallest one. And first time shot, and the whistle's gone. Offside against, I think it was Kluivert. Davids was the one who tried to have a shot. It didn't come off for him. Or it may have been a foul. Whistle went for one of those 2 reasons. Forward by Orlando. Nice return by Boban. In it comes. And at the end of it was Sordo. The rescue work done by Davids. Gullit can't do all that much on his own. Here's the corner, short one from Savicevic. Wants it on his left foot. And he adjusted himself well, but it was well blocked. Here's Nava. This is a Milanese period for the moment. And that wasn't so bad from Zvonimir Boban. Well to make the space for himself. This is a better view of it. body swerve and 2 players went the wrong way. Abandon the Dutch national team in their hour of need was something that will not endear him to the Dutch population, perhaps for the rest of his life. Out. R.DeBoer. Overmars. Now we're following him as usual. Davids makes the space! And no, it hasn't gone in. Davids is most distressed at the outcome, but the approach work was absolutely brilliant. There were 2 touches by Milan players. Or at least it looked like it to me. But Edgar Davids, whatever the outcome, whether it's a corner or a goal kick, was very, very unlucky. Under those conditions, to make such a run was a fine piece of work indeed. It is a goal kick, with seconds to go in the first half. And it's been dominated by Ajax, but there are signs that anything is possible in this game. Ruud Gullit coming closest at least twice. And Milan, despite the absence of their 9 players, are still in it. It's 0-0 at the break. Savicevic. That's Boban across for Maldini. Bullet. Donadoni. Swinging it in. The target man was Sordo. So long as Milan holds out, I think Fabio Capello, their coach, will be happy to persevere with his present lineup. There are no signs of substitutions at this stage. And the longer the game goes without a goal, the more likely it'll be Ajax that will make the change. Or the first change. And Overmars rides that very well. And Nava did well to recover. Davids. Wide man on the right is Reisiger. This is Finidi George. Inside him is R.DeBoer, but he chips him to Frank Rijkaard. Now DeBoer. Little 1-2, is it? Yes, it is. DeBoer! And it's 1-0. Kluivert and R.DeBoer combining. Kluivert with the exquisite pass, touched through the legs. It looked like Franco Baresi. A little bit embarrassing for the great man. But after that, Sebastiano Rossi could do very little. So Luis van Gaal will be relieved, and so will the fans. R.DeBoer, who was playing as a much more attacking striker weeks and months ago, and he was criticised for not scoring enough goals then, gets a very, very crucial one tonight. It's Ajax 1, Milan 0. So a bit of buoyancy coming back into the Ajax fans, and Milan will have to go chasing. Nothing is guaranteed in the Champions League, even though 2 teams from each group qualified for the quarterfinals. But if you finish in second position, you're likely to face a very tough team in the quarters, and you don't want that. So I think Milan would have calculated taking at least 3 points off Ajax, so they will want to draw here. And that means they will have to have a go. But it's Ajax who are confident enough to go for more. This is Overmars. Danny Blind, the last man in defence, mostly in this game. That's nicely back by Kluivert. Edgar Davids, robbed. Litmanen. Well, it might be a depleted Milan lineup, but overall their defence has held very, very firm. And it may not be long before it becomes 2-0 at this stage, or at this rate. There goes Overmars. Around Galli, and Baresi forced into the ultimo ricorso because there was no other choice. And Rossi was going to be under pressure here. In comes the corner. And Rossi saving what was a soft header. It may have been even one of his players who put it back to him. And indeed it was. No substitution still. Bullet involved. Forward by Savicevic. Looking for Orlando. It's Reisiger with a throw. That first goal coming in the 51st minute for Ajax. They lead 1-0. Davids, Litmanen. Overmars. 5 against 5. Here's the cross. Chance, and it's 2-0. The numbers did it. Litmanen was the man who scored, but it could have been anybody. Overmars with the cross. Baresi touched it on, and Litmanen said thank you. But there was so much pressure because of the numbers of Ajax players coming forward here that the goal was all but inevitable. Fabio Capello may not agree, of course. But 2-0 it is. And Jari Litmanen, the Finnish wonder, adds his name to the score sheet. 66 minutes gone. And we expect that young Clarence Seedorf and Patrick Kluivert will be in the Dutch side in Nigeria next year for the World Championships. Seconds away from the final whistle, and it looks like Ajax is going to draw first blood in Group D against their most meritorious opponents, AC Milan, the holders of the European Champions Cup. And there is the final whistle. A deserved victory for Ajax of Amsterdam. Statistics show that Ajax had more than 60% or around 60% of possession in the game. And maybe it was only the conditions that robbed them of a larger victory. Milan, under the circumstances, playing well, but it's a loss they will have to make up for later in the series. The final score, Ajax 2, Milan 0.